If you want to take your cinnamon rolls from this to this, keep watching.
Hi guys, it's Miss Bakes a Lot, and today we are going to make cinnamon rolls. Not my recipe. It's by, her name is Cleo Buttera. She uses a method called tangzong. It's a method where you form kind of a roux first and you add that into your dough. It helps them stay fresher a lot longer and it makes them softer. Let's get started on this one. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make the tangzong. In a medium saucepan over medium heat, you are going to add 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of flour. And then you're going to add 5 tablespoons of milk and 5 tablespoons of flour. And you're going to whisk that together. And you're going to let it cook over medium heat until you have a pudding-like consistency. Okay, so we are at the thick pudding-like consistency, if you can see that. And you take it off your burner once you're to this point. This probably took 3 or 4 minutes. And then you're going to add 6 tablespoons of melted butter and 3/4 of a cup of milk, whole milk. So once you got that pretty well mixed in, you're going to add 2 eggs. Mix that in. Okay, so now we're going to work on the dough. Most people use bread flour in their cinnamon rolls. I like to use all-purpose flour because it gives you a fluffier, less dense cinnamon roll. Now, some people really like the more dense, chewy cinnamon roll. So this is all a matter of personal preference, you guys. If you like them like that, then go ahead and use bread flour. So you want 4 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour. Whichever one you're using, fluff it up really well so you don't get too much of any of them. I use instant yeast almost all the time. I do have regular yeast. It says rapid rise, which is instant. So 1 tablespoon. Dry milk powder. She has 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon. We're going to give that a good mix. We're going to pour in our tangzong that we made. We got to let this dough come together, and when it comes together, we don't want to knead it yet. We are going to let it sit covered for 20 minutes. Okay, so he's got everything combined. Still nice and warm, and it's very sticky. It should be. Don't worry about it. Don't add any more flour. It's very sticky. And we're going to cover this for 20 minutes. Okay, it has been 20 minutes. And now we are going to add 1/4 cup of sugar and 1 3/4 teaspoons of salt. And then we're going to knead this for 10 minutes. I never knead mine over 2, you guys, because I don't want to blow Cookie Monster up. It's been 10 minutes and the dough is no longer sticky. So you do not need to add any more flour. We're going to let it rise now. I let mine rise in a square container, you guys, or a rectangle container, because then when you dump it out, it's already in a rectangle. It's a lot easier to shape into a rectangle. I get a dry erase marker here, you guys, and I always mark mine about where it's at so I can tell where it's when it's doubled. This is going to be, I'm going to start checking it at 40 minutes, okay? First rise, the bulk rise is going to be longer than the second proof. You're going to put it in a nice warm place. I happen to have a room in my house that gets way warmer than all the other rooms. But also, I heard of people getting heating pads and setting their dough on a heating pad. I have heard of people turning their oven on to like 170, and then as soon as it comes up to that temp, shutting it off and cracking the door and putting their dough in there. You're going to want to cover your, whatever you're rising your dough in, you're going to want to cover it So I'm not going to, seal it or anything. I'm just going to cover it lightly. Okay, so while that is doing its thing, proofing, rising, whatever, we're going to work on the filling. Let's talk just for a minute about filling. So I was on this never-ending quest to find the perfect filling, like, I'm going to say copycat Cinnabon, because that to me is like peak cinnamon rolls. So every recipe I tried, and I tried a million of them, either the filling was grainy and like you were crunching on your filling, or the filling was gone and all you had was like a cinnamon stain left. You were basically eating bread with icing on top. That was more often what was happening. That was really annoying. So you guys, I tried cornstarch, I tried flour, I tried xanthan gum, I tried instant vanilla pudding. Nothing worked until instant clear gel. You guys, this is an absolute game changer. And it's got to be the instant clear gel, not the cook type. There's two different types. And I will show you a picture, a difference of with the instant clear gel and without. The difference is crazy. So the thing is, I love Cleobutra's basic cinnamon roll recipe, but I don't use her filling and I don't use her icing. I like my own for that. So we're going to use 2 cups of brown sugar, 4 tablespoons of instant clear gel, and 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. Okay, and the reason that we're mixing this first, instant clear gel always has to be mixed with a powder or else it will lump as soon as it gets the liquid in it. So we're going to mix this with our cinnamon and with our brown sugar. I'm using my hands because a whisk is just going to kind of lump it up too. So when it comes together, it almost looks like sand. First off, you guys, somebody could have told me that I had makeup all over my eyelid. Our dough is risen, so that's good news. See, we're definitely doubled here. I forgot to spray any of the Pam on my dough. So I'm going to do that right now, just a little bit. Okay, so we got a nice risen dough. We're going to punch it down, which is always so satisfying, right? Now, I don't use any flour. I don't flour my work area when I'm going to roll out my dough. The more flour you add to your dough, the tougher it's going to be. So we're going to let our dough come out and move it down a little bit. And I like to first pat mine out into a nice little rectangle before I worry about my rolling pin or anything. I like to do my rolls 1.5 inch rolls. So I need an 18-inch rectangle this way because I do 12 rolls. So if I do 18 inches, 1.5 inch rolls will give me 12 rolls. So I'm going to get out my rolling pin and start rolling from the middle. Doesn't matter how long you roll it this way. That's going to determine how big your roll is, okay? And how many swirls you get, which I love a lot of swirls. Here's where you probably might think I'm crazy, or might think, wow, cool idea. Get myself at 18 inches, and then I cut myself a perfect rectangle. Look at how perfect that is. This is where we have to work quickly. We got our brown sugar, cinnamon, instant clear gel mixture. 12 tablespoons of melted butter. Once we put that in there, we have to work quickly. You have to make a paste. The slower you work, the harder it is to spread. You can add a little bit of hot water if you need to, but use it very sparingly because little goes a long way. Pour in my melted butter. And I am going to use like a tablespoon of water, you guys. Like, only go a tablespoon at a time. Okay, this is what it looks like, guys. You see it? I like to plop mine all over the place, so that makes it easier to spread around. So now I'm going to take my ruler again. Now to cut these, I use a pizza cutter, you guys. I think they turn out so beautiful like this. Now, if you want to roll yours up in a log, you can do that and then cut it with dental floss or cut it with a serrated knife. So I'm going to go halfway, which is 9. Half of 18 is 9. And then I'm going to do half of that. Half of 9 is 4.5. And I'm going to do that again over here. Half of 9 again is 4.5. So, and then I'm going to cut each one of those sections in 3. Now, you're going to roll these up, and then the beauty part about rolling them like this is you can pick which side you want to go up, the pretty side. Now, one of my pet peeves when people make cinnamon rolls is when they leave the end like this, and it puffs out and it just uncurls and it looks ugly. I told you guys I'm a complete type A personality. So I take a fork and I scratch this part into each other. So it sticks together so that that doesn't pop out. I think it looks so ugly. And I think cinnamon rolls are so cute. Like, look at that. Now, do you guys like yours popped out like that a little bit? Or do you like your cinnamon rolls flat? Because I like mine popped out a little bit. I think they'll look cuter like that. And speaking of that, when you do this, when they bake in the oven and they don't have anywhere to go, like when you seal that off and they can't expand this way, they sometimes will expand up. If they pop up on you like that, just take a little spatula and pop them back down. You just got to show them who's boss. Okay, so these are all ready to go for their second proof. Now, there's 2 ways to do this, guys. And the way I usually do this is I will make these at night and I will cover these, right? I will put them in the fridge because who wants to get up at, 5 o'clock in the morning to make cinnamon rolls to have them for breakfast? Not me. So I will make them to this point. When you get up in the morning, you put them in their nice warm spot to proof, but they take a lot longer because they have to come up to room temperature and then they have to rise. So it takes about maybe hour and a half, almost 2 hours, depending on how cold your fridge is, right? But it's a heck of a lot better than getting up at, 5 o'clock in the morning to do the whole process, right? So usually that's what I'll do. I'll put them in the warm spot and then I'll make breakfast. By the time breakfast is ready and we clean up and they're ready to be thrown in the oven, and they only take 30 minutes to bake. However, tonight, I'm just going to finish them. So they're going to go back in their warm spot right now, and they actually took about an hour to rise the first time. They'll only take about 30 minutes this time. All right, so these were in their nice warm spot for about 30 minutes. I want you to see how before they weren't all touching each other. You see how they're bigger now? They're all touching each other. There's no space between them anymore. These are going to go in the oven at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, so one thing I forgot to tell you guys while I was talking about baking is the internal temperature of those should be 190. So you're going to take your thermometer, put it in your center roll. Make sure you don't put it all the way into where like you would be hitting the goo, because that's going to be a lot hotter, but right in the dough at 190. While that's in there, let's work on our icing, okay? So this is going to sound silly, but I like a cream cheese icing, but I don't like a cream cheesy icing, like heavy. I don't like a heavy cream cheese flavor on my icing, but I do like a cream cheese base. So we're going to use 1 stick of butter, and I'm going to use half a block of cream cheese. Make sure you don't use the whipped stuff because there's a lot of air in it, so it's not going to give you nearly as much. So I'm going to use half a block of cream cheese. If you like a cream cheesy icing, then use the whole block. With those two together, and then we're going to add 2 cups of powdered sugar. Start low so you don't get it all over yourself, but I already did, so, Now I'm going to add a half teaspoon of almond extract. You can add vanilla if you don't like almond extract. It does not make your stuff taste like almond. It just gives it a certain flavor that nobody knows what it is. Like, what is this? Everybody absolutely loves it. And you're like, wow, it just gives it something. Okay, so at this point it's pretty thick. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of half and half. If you add milk, you're going to need less because milk is thinner than half and half is. This is where we're at right now. It's almost like a buttercream. I like to put mine on as soon as the cinnamon rolls come out of the oven, like piping hot, and then it melts into them. And then after I put on the first coat, I'll put on another coat. Are you team lots of frosting where you can barely see the cinnamon roll? Or are you team just a little bit of icing? We're team lots of frosting over here. Okay, so I just pulled these out of the oven, you guys. And these, I went 27 minutes. But I got to show you guys these. How cute are those? And I did have to pop some of them back in with a spatula. They wanted to go rogue on me. But before we even do anything, I have to show you guys these pot holders are the silicone grips this pan came with. But while this is really, really hot, so we are going to take just a little bit on each one and spread it around there and let it melt in all the nooks and crannies. All right, so there is layer 1. And I know for some of you crazy people, that's enough for you. But I'm going for layer 2 because we love the frosting. And I can call you people crazy too because I have a son that would agree with you. So I think he's crazy too. All right, so that's how we like them, you guys. I have to show you all the goo. Whoops. All the goo that's inside there. See, all that would have been... I'm dropping stuff all over the table. All that would have been baked out, you guys, and it would have just been like a cinnamon stain on the dough. So instead of that, you actually get to eat it. See? The table's just a mess now, but it's okay. But I wish you guys could smell my kitchen. It smells like you are walking past a Cinnabon. I know there are a million say that they are a copycat clone of SB or CB, but try it. And guys, I would not lie to you. I promise. Try these. And if you are ever scared of yeast, you watched me make it with me. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's a long video, but worth it. I promise.